Rules of the game. I call Dad on his cell. Just leaving, he says. Want to meet somewhere for lunch? I tell him I'll cook. He makes me promise no actual flames until he gets home. I spend half an hour shredding up string cheese sticks and cracking eggs. I peel 2 cucumbers, cut them up, and put them in a bowl. I stack 4 pieces of bread right next to the toaster. Dad comes in while I'm setting the table. I make us scrambled eggs with cheese, making sure the cheese is nice and melted before I go turn off the heat. Can I help? Dad asks. You could salt the cucumbers, I tell him, and put ice in our glasses. We eat. I love scrambled eggs, Dad announces. How could I have forgotten how much I love scrambled eggs? I sit there thinking the secret to good scrambled eggs was probably the only one true thing Safer ever told me. So, Dad says, tell me things. I pour my heart out. I tell him everything about what happened with Safer and Mr. X, all of it. I can't be friends with someone like that, I tell Dad. Someone like what? Someone who lies. Was it a lie or was it a game? I hate games. I hate people who play games. Dad nods. Maybe you're right to be mad, but isn't playing games a way of being friends? Not if you don't know it's a game. What if he didn't know you didn't know? Oh, he knew, I said. Well, maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. He did. Well, how did this all get started? Dad asked. I think. The Spy Club. And did you go down there thinking you would find real spies? No, obviously. So weren't you kind of on notice from the beginning that it was a game? My dad asked. He acted serious, like he believed it. Some games are played that way. I hate games, I say. And then I pour my heart out for the second time in 10 minutes. This time it's about Dallas Llewellyn and Carter Dixon and the taste test. Dad looks miserable. Why didn't you tell me? I could have done something a long time ago. I shrug. Nah, it's just dumb stuff. You know, kids being kids. I know none of this will matter in a few years. He stares at me. Who told you that? Mom. She always says to look at the big picture, how all the little things don't really matter in the long run. He blinks. But they matter now, George. They matter a lot. What were you planning to do? Just hold your breath all the way through middle school? No, no one can hold their breath that long, I say. Look, I know Mom talks about the big picture. She wants you to remember that you'll find new friends and that life is always changing and sometimes it's really great ways. But life is also what's happening now, George. What Dallas and Carter are doing is happening now. And you can't just wait for it to be over. You have to do something about it. Now. It's weird because I know Mom is right about the big picture and everything, but Dad is right too. Life is really just a bunch of nows, one after the other. The dots really matter. First thing in the morning, Dad says, I'm going down to school with you and we're airing this whole thing out. There are rules about this kind of thing, George, important ones. And I feel so good when he says that. I'm about to say yes. Let's go to everyone's favorite diner and get egg sandwiches and then walk to school together and this can all be over. But then I hear myself telling him no, because I have an idea. There are all kinds of rules. There are written down school rules like Dad is talking about, and there are rules we just live by without ever asking why we even follow them. Candy is right. Why shouldn't her table be the cool table? Who says I have to try to steal the other team's flag? Why does Bob have to spell dumb with a B? What if you decided to make your own rules? But you'll tell me if you need me, Dad says after I explain. Promise me. I promise. I'm so sorry, George. I should have been around more lately. I should have been here, cooked for you, he says. Yumli is right. It hasn't been easy because Mom hasn't wanted to force you to... I stop him. So cook something, I say. He looks at me a second and stands up and starts going through the fridge. I know, he says. I know exactly what to cook. Dad cooks milkshakes in the blender. Then we kick back with Sir Ott for some baseball. I don't think about Safer. I don't think about Dallas or the taste test or my big idea that may or may not work. I just drink my milkshake, sit next to Dad, and think about how this now is the best one I've had in a while. Before bed that night, I spell Mom a note. Miss you, miss you, miss you. There's a shortage of S's and only 2 M's, so the last one's an upside-down W. I fall asleep to the sound of Dad murmuring into the phone behind the bedroom door. In the morning, there's a message from Mom. Me too, Pickle.